come here tonight and plead with you. Believe in yourself and believe that you're somebody. As I said to the group last night, nobody else can do this for us. No document can do this for us. No Lincolnian Emancipation Proclamation can do this for us. No Kennysonian or Johnsonian Civil Rights Bill can do this for us. If the Negro is to be free, he must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own Emancipation Proclamation. Don't let anybody take your manhood. Be proud of our heritage. As somebody said earlier tonight, we don't have anything to be ashamed of. Somebody told a lie one day. They couched it in language. They made everything black, ugly, and evil. Look in your dictionary and see the synonyms of the word black. There's always something degrading and low and sinister. Look at the word white. It's always something pure, high, and clean. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful.
Yo.
Hey.
What's good?
Nothing. Well, everything is good right now. I'm sharing into the Hilo News Facebook group. So if they caught me looking down, that's what I was doing.
I got excited. I got excited because I wanted to play that so bad, and I was supposed to come on. Then, but that's like one of my favorite MLK speeches, though, because like everybody think MLK was like, for lack of a better term, soft. Like he was a fuck nigga, like he was a square. And it's like, that's the stuff like he really was doing. Like that's what really got him killed. Like him going when he started to talk about the economics, you know, we talk about school. Yeah, we talk about school, right? And school only taught us about his time in the South, but they don't tell us about his time in Chicago. They don't talk about the time he was in St. Louis. They don't talk about the times he was down here in Miami and what that was about. You know what I mean? And so, you know, even, you know, he had an interesting take on, you know, the dynamic between in Florida and Texas, and where we don't have, Florida didn't have that overt racism. We didn't have Jim Crow segregation, you know, like that, but we had different forms of it. It was like a kind of like, you know,
de facto.
Yeah, exactly. And so,
well, would you say Florida or just Miami? Because I feel
like
they said no, or something.
No, it was, but they said it's not like, it wasn't like
even throughout the whole state.
Yeah, they said throughout the whole state, and then Miami specifically, yes, was different, you know. And then he said he actually came down here to the Hampton House, and it's a speech on Trapping Ain't Dead right now, that I posted, you know, a while back from the Wolfson archives, that when he was down here, he was talking about basically the dynamic between blacks and Cubans, and how basically the power structure would try to put these two against each other, and it wouldn't be wise to do so, and it wouldn't be smart.
Wow.
So yeah,
he foresaw
it. Yeah, exactly. He foresaw it exactly right when it happened, and so he, you know, so that it's just crazy. You know, it's just been a crazy weekend. Martin Luther King, that's one of my favorite speeches because, like, you know, when you talk about knowing yourself, self-care, we talk about all these different things, and that was me, you know, hearing that speech is like hearing like, no, you got to sign with a pen and ink in your old soul. Like nobody can't give you freedom. You know what I'm saying? You gotta sign a pen and ink within your soul and say, nah, I'm finna get this. I'm free. I'm gonna be unapologetic. That's what unapologetically being black is. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree. I think it's really good that we started to show off, especially coming off of Martin Luther King's birthday and the national holiday was yesterday. So I'm glad that we started the show with that energy because I feel like that definitely carries throughout the theme of what we're going to be talking about. Essentially at the base core of it, it is freedom and liberation for Black people and what we talk about. And so, of course, salute to the GOAT, the King. Side note, though, talking about honoring Dr. King. Did you see that statue in Boston? Did you see the hands and the arms and the doodle and the head and the whatever everybody else interpreted it to be a chokehold? What did you think about that?
Well, when I first saw it, I was like, well, what is this? And then
we all
you know, and yeah, you know, art is subjective. Art is supposed to be talked about. It did what it was supposed to do. It sparked the conversation. Now, the conversation went left, but the conversation, like, because it's two interesting takes on it, right? So, like, I call her my Facebook friend, Eccentric. She had an interesting take on it, and she was like, you know, a Black artist did it. And I was like, well, just because a Black artist did it don't mean I gotta like it.
Shit.
But she basically pointed out like different ways, like the sun kind of like highlighted different details depending on what it was. And I was like, okay, that's based on, I think me personally, I think it was shot horribly. The photographer is the fire for that. Because it was the first picture.
A good image, a good angle of
the first picture that I saw, I didn't know, like it was like the elbow and then the hand like this. So it was another picture that was a little bit more like I can't do it right here, but it was like I could see the hand and I could see, like, once I seen the picture and I seen the embrace, I was like, oh, now I get it. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, I mean, think about Chicago and the fucking bean. I think that's what it called. The fucking bean, and everybody be tripping over the bean.
Everybody, but see, to me, that is not. I don't know if that's a monument to, but it's not.
No,
it doesn't look suggestive. It looks, you know, just like some random big thing in the middle of Chicago, and it looks cool, you know, to me. And I get it, it's abstract, but that when I initially saw it, it looked like it was a man giving a woman head. Like that's what I initially saw. So judge me if you want to. Well, that's what I initially saw. And then I
know where your mind be at. God damn.
I mean,
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you, but I ain't see that at first.
Then it looked like two hands holding doodoo. I was just like, I did not see an angle of that looked okay, except for one angle looked like a heart. And then when I researched it and you saw what it represented, I just felt like sometimes being abstract doesn't translate all the time and everything. Yeah. And to me, there was no, here's the thing. I saw it in gold. I went to the artist's Instagram page. I saw it in gold and it was in an art museum. It actually looked beautiful. So I think the color combined with the abstract position made it look crazy. And so I think somebody saw that in that gallery or that museum and thought that would be a really good gesture. It just, I don't think anybody understood what that would look like in brown. Also too, I feel like for $10 million, I feel like it's so performative in the sense of y'all spent $10 million on something that nobody in the public understands except for whoever that group was who approved that, which I was like, what was the checks and balances for this? And I was like, to me, you could have gave that to a grassroots organization that actually is about furthering King's legacy and his mission and his vision. So it just seemed like a waste of money to me and waste of public dollars where it could have been spent to actually give us some liberation. $10 million can go a long way for a nonprofit.
Yeah.
To me,
definitely.
To me, it was like those, I compare it to those Black Lives Matters paintings and signs and stuff on the street. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't want none of that. That performative shit. Give me policy. Give me economics. Give me equity. Do something that's real. Don't paint something. Don't give me a sculpture and say, hey, now everything's good with us. No, it's not. And to me, the money you spend on those things could be better spent with grassroots organizations affecting real change.
Yeah, I agree. You know, they always trying to do some fucking mural. So we can just drive by when we go back to the neighborhood we don't live in no more.
And then they try to like get us and play us with the, oh, but it was a Black artist and we used this.
Yeah. And,
like,
it's like, so what? Like, I mean, kudos to them. Them niggas got 10 mil or however much they got paid for it, but
who probably don't even live in that neighborhood.
I doubt they got $10 million though.
You think you don't think he directly? Well, the cost of it was $10 million. The overall cost of it was $10 million.
We'll see how much he got. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. It's just when I look at stuff like that, like you say, it's performative. I kind of look at it and be like, all right, fuck y'all spending to do this shit for? Who approved this shit? Like you said, like, where the money at, man?
Exactly. And that's such a great segue into our hot topics. Ding, ding, ding. The people is where you want to start because we got a few things with the show. Where you want to start?
I don't know. I guess we can start where we left off last episode. You know, Virginia Key. You know, point blank period. Virginia Key. They down there. What is that? The 12th. Which was like that Thursday, I believe it was. After we did Thursday. The show. So they went down there. They didn't. Unfortunately, they weren't able to restore the trust. And I got a text that they, the meeting they was gonna have a later Virginia Key Beach meeting that was supposed to be.
Oh yeah, it was the same day.
It was the same day. So nobody from the meeting earlier was in this Virginia Key Beach meeting apparently. And like I said, I got a text like, "Yo, tune in." But when I swear I got it the minute they sent it to me. When I got it, I don't know if I just stepped away for 2 seconds, but it just seemed like the meeting was over just like that. Like it was a quick 5-minute meeting. Like it wasn't like an extended meeting at all. It was like 5 minutes tops. Like it was crazy.
I just find it very interesting and very disrespectful to say to real shit that King is like totally ignoring like these cries from her community, her constituents. And it's like the overwhelming, cry is we don't want this. And they're just kind of like, so I don't care. It's giving very bully energy. It's giving very much,
but
I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. You don't matter energy.
So we can kind of talk about these issues intertwined because I think the next thing to talk about would be in Russell's seat. But I think because King is kind of conflicting when you look at what's been all playing out, right? This whole thing plays out with the trust. She gets 5 seats, so she has the potential to have 5 seats, and then it gets knocked down to 2, right? And then after this, after she does that and she ignores the board and doesn't restore the trust, she appoints Neil Hall, right, an architect from, she replaced as executive director. She replaced the old dude, the person who was there before, and then she appointed 2 more members that were 2 lawyers, I believe, which I can, I don't want to speculate on certain things, their backgrounds or whatnot, but that's something to question. But at the end of the day, lawyers make deals happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, and then we fast forward. Well, then you talk about that Miami Times article, right? So, Miami Times, King defies Carollo. You know what I mean? I'm holding it, trying to hold it a certain way so you can see it, because I know it's like.
What did that article say?
So in the Miami Times article, it talked about how King and Carollo, basically King, Carollo, and Alex De Portilla been going back and forth about the District 2 seat, and how they want basically King refuses. She feels like that should be up to the community. So it's a conflict as like, okay, Virginia Key Beach, you fought the community on, but then the actual seat, you like, nah, we gonna let this happen, right? And so the issue is, and then the issue with that is, out of the 14 candidates that applied, one of the candidates that they're talking about, or that Portilla and Carollo is, one of the candidates that Portilla and Carollo are backing is this dude, I think Martin Zilber. I think that's his name. Yeah. I want to say his name, Martin Zilber or Martin Zilber. So they really, and basically that whole argument has been, they want them, Carollo wants them to appoint a seat, from my understanding. And just like they appointed Jeffrey Watson after Keon left. You feel me? So
and what does King want? She wants an election.
King is like, no, it should be up to a special election by the voters, not an appointment. You feel me? And basically, Portilla and Carollo want her to appoint Martin Zilber. So it'll be interesting to kind of like watch it all play out and see what happens and follow it.
That's interesting that she's okay with a election and the process, the due process of an election for that seat, but she's totally okay with ignoring and appointing people to this trust.
And the trust got more control over, you know what I'm saying? Like operating, like really has more control. Now, mind you, the conversation now went from, we're not going to do a hotel, and this is another conversation that switched to that they're not going to do a hotel, but in fact, they're going to do the Black Museum. So if that's the case, and now we're talking about putting a museum there, all right. So now that's why I say a lot of things was just shaky, like too much was in play. And so now when you talk about Neil Hall, right? Now you're talking about, we still at the table, we still got 2 seats. Now we got to think about all the other partners that's coming to the table to build this museum. She's saying that King is saying she's going to be able to get this $15 million out of the general obligation bond, because what people don't know is that million, they never got that money. It was allotted to them years ago, but they never got the money. I think it was like 2004, but they never got the money. So now all of a sudden, she's going to be able to go get the money and pull the money out and through some process. So it's just a lot that I feel like we got to watch. We got to be mindful of.
The thing I don't understand with the Virginia Key Beach Trust, why couldn't the board before get this money? What's the difference now? Is it because Christine King is leading this and now this funds is available? Like, why weren't the funds available before to the board? And from what I remember with my interview with Patrick Range is, he kept saying that it was very bureaucratic. Like they put proposals to get the funding released to move forward, and it was a slow process. They were met with opposition. I won't say opposition, just roadblocks.
They had an architect.
So I'm like, why is it so smooth now? Like, here's the thing: if it was just this easy, King, why didn't you just assist the former board to get this done?
Yeah, that's my whole thing, and why you had to get rid of the ED to do it. You know what I mean? If that was the case. And so that's why I say it's a lot of different things in play that I feel like we just need to be mindful of, but she literally said on the record in this Miami Times article that she's against a hotel because of development, real estate development, and what that's, gentrification essentially, you know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds and what how her position, stays the same or changes over time, But the one key thing, that I think we need to hone in on is that now we need to pay attention to this special election, because
I totally
basically
agree.
Virginia Beach is, like I said, in Ken Russell's district. So it's like, if you need to get it passed, is in this person's district, you need somebody in the seat. You know what I mean? And so they're saying they want it up for community. To me, that's just like, oh, y'all gonna, if something happened and don't go right, y'all gonna blame them.
Here's the thing,
and that's just me speculating though.
Is it possible to have that seat be somebody who could be an ally for Black Miami, especially city of Miami? Could that seat actually go to somebody who will be willing to work with, Black Miami and help with equity? Because to me, I saw it as like, okay, this is just a white or Spanish seat, and this person probably is not going to be the progressive savior, for lack of better words, for what the community needs.
So I don't know if these are official. I don't know. I don't want to say I don't know if they're official. I know they're official, but I don't know how accurate these numbers is as far as like the money is concerned. But that's kind of alarming to me when I looked at the numbers.
The numbers for what?
For the special election. When those 14 candidates and like the money that they I guess fundraise or get at bringing in.
Really?
Yeah, monetary contributions, right? So Leor, pretty much nobody has money, no monetary contributions except for two candidates. There's June Savage and there's Leor Halabi. And so there is 14 people, but none of their money is pretty much on the books yet. And then out of this, how many people stay in the neighborhood and who's basically us? Because what we don't want to do is split up the small percentage of a vote that we already have with multiple candidates. So who is it that we could get behind, you know what I mean, to push for that seat for our interest? I mean, I'm just speaking in real terms because that's just what it is. And so I don't know.
It's weird for an election that's, pretty much a month away that, 90% of the candidates have not raised money yet. Who sent you? What are you doing?
Exactly. You get what I'm saying? And so it begs the question, what's really going on? And the fact that Martin Zilber, they want to appoint Martin Zilber, but ain't no money contributions. It's like, what's going on?
Like, why do you want Martin? And why is Martin not raising any money?
You get what I'm saying? Like, no money. Like, and then total expenditures and distributions. So June Savage, it says basically got 11,000 and spent out 6,200, a little over 6,250, right? 6,230, so to speak. We just round it. And then the next person only got $1,200 and spent out all $1,200. So they ain't really got no money. So the question is, who is this June E. Savage?
Yeah.
Like June E. Savage. Because they savage right now. They got 12,000 in the account and they spent 6,000, a little over 6,000. That means they got 5,000 still in the account. And they got a month to go.
Self-financing.
Yeah. But that's something to look at. And, on the show going forward, that's something I always wanted to do is like give people things to do. If you live in the Coconut Grove area, care about the Coconut Grove area, this is what we talk about. You know what I mean? And there's a special election coming up on February 27th. These are things that you need to know. You know what I'm saying? Like 14 candidates, and they want to appoint one person who ain't got no money.
Oh, she's a savage.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm curious. I'm real curious at this point in the game.
I think that the residents of the city of Miami really need to, especially like you said, in that Coconut Grove area, because that's where Ken Russell That's what his district includes. I hope they're there, they're paying attention, to how the other commissioners want to proceed, who's running and why. And I hope that there are community members there that are really informing people on the boots on the ground. The one person that I know who was really fighting a lot for to get people to understand what was going on with the redistricting things that was going on in Coconut Grove last year was T. Bernie. I think she lives in that area, and she was really fighting and going to the commission meetings and talking to them to advocate for Black Coconut Grove. And I feel like that's why platforms like ours are important, because we're helping people to kind of make sense of what's going on in their area. But people got to be able to kind of, at some point you got to do for yourself. Like at some point you got to be like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I think this election presents an opportunity where things can shift in city of Miami politics. I mean, I'm not going to hold my breath, but
Ken Russell was always like the neutral seat that kind of swayed with us and for us, right? And he always was pretty much community centered, from my understanding. But it would, in Save Keon a couple times up there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When it got real. So he's always been, from my understanding, he was a good ally. So to have, and then that's our community. So
hopefully someone who replaces him continues in that same energy as well. I feel like right now, I wouldn't say the whole Black community is split, but I feel like some people are okay with the new appointments to the Virginia Key Beach Board. And they're like, Neil Hall is, respected in the community, and these are two attorneys. And I feel like some people are okay with it. And then, of course, we know the people who are opposition. What if people have been saying to you about these new appointments to the board? Has anybody said anything to you about it?
No.
Or have you heard any chatter about it?
So nobody said anything to me about me and Gerald, shout out to Gerald Reed, man. We talk almost every week. Gerald's like my low key. Gerald like keep me on point. Like if I could hire Gerald, like seriously, I would. Because he literally keeps me up on point about all the stuff. And sometimes I, get misconstrued. Like I don't catch it, he'll catch it. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, it's that situation. But yeah, what I've been hearing, I looked into the two lawyers. The two lawyers, one is from Opelika, is an Opelika attorney. You know what I'm saying? The other one did some other work with Brownsville Community Center or something, like community development or something like that. So that's interesting to me, right? So that means you're bringing in two people with a community background, one which was a city attorney, and another person who has another capacity as in doing community. And she's like, yo, we need to do community outreach. You know what I'm saying? Essentially, we need to get the community involved. And so if that's the case, with community outreach or whatnot, then I'm looking forward to pretty much Christine King and them hosting something for the community, because that's what they say they're gonna do. So that's me just holding them to the fire. Like if that's what they say they're gonna do, let's hold them to the fire and like get it done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I'm kind of split too in my mindset as well, because I definitely support the group Black Miami-Dade and them wanting to get the trust restored. But it's also too, you have another part of me is like, well, let me see what these people do. Let me see if they make a difference. Let me see, like I said, these are some respected people who've done work in the community before. And so I'm hoping that they have the community's best interest at heart. I'm just, going to sit back and watch and not make a judgment. But it just seems very unfair. And it seems like almost too, they're put in a bad position, because I don't like the position that Christine King has put them in, because they're kind of like coming in this capacity where a lot of people in the community don't like it. They don't fuck with it. They don't like how the former trust was done, but these people may not be given the chance or the grace that they deserve. to possibly do a good job. It's just a very, weird way of coming into a position. And I'm also interested in like what made them take it, given everything that happened. Like, do they agree with how the city of Miami handled the former board? Are you, because to me, you accepting that job essentially kind of says that to me, that you're like, I'm okay with how that went down. Because I'm almost like, if they approached me, I would say no. I mean, and granted, everybody has their own reasons why they do stuff, but I just couldn't see an ethical person. Well, I won't say ethical. We won't say that, but I can't see a person who has like some type of understanding for what happened taking that position. Because I just wouldn't. I couldn't sit right with it.
Power. That's the only thing, and I think that's we hit lead in that way, and I think at the end of the day, it's about power.
Yeah,
political power, economic power, social power, like power, and the people who are lining themselves along those lines, either it's a get down or down situation. And from my purview, it like if you because I've seen situations, or I've heard about situations where it's not so much you approve of it, you kind of don't have a choice. You know what I'm saying? And so when you kind of like in a situation where you're back against the wall and it's like, I gotta kind of like, we done seen this a couple times. I don't want to name names and kind of like put it out there like, oh, this person did this, but it'd be stuff like this that happens all the time. And you'd be like, well, why this person run it? This don't make no damn sense. Well, why this person run it? Like, I ain't never heard this person name. I'm like, where she came from? Like, why is this person basically endorsing this person? And we don't know her from a can of paint, then they flip and then endorse another person. So like it just be a lot of political games, in my understanding. It's just a lot of political games,
Well, I don't know if you saw the from the Black Miami-Dade community group who's been opposing what has happened with the trust, but they sent out that announcement to the community. And so they're encouraging people to call the city of Miami. They put out a flyer out to the community. Terry Williams also put out an email, with information as well for the community to know.
Oh, I get it. No, I remember what it was. So the message, we got like 20 different things in that message, but the message is and this is my question. With this board, did they, when we talk about restore the trust, the actual trust itself and the rules and policies and how it's governed, they would in the correspondence we got, it says we must continue to fight to restore the trust, not just the previous trust board, but also the public trust that continues to be broken between the city commission and the Black community. So maybe I read it wrong, but like the thing is, the trust. I want to know what happens to the actual trust itself.
Come on, the money.
And how the money part and all that. Like, how does that work? You know what I mean? Like, and then at the end of the day, if this is a trust and a task force and all these different things, like how does the trust actually work? Because the community should still have some type of involvement. It should be open trust meetings, you know what I mean, and different things like that. So if that's the case, doesn't mean that they have to do some type of public meeting every so often. You feel me? Like, I'm just curious to the follow up,
Yeah, but like
back to what you were saying.
No, but I agree. And does this new trust with elected officials? Because I don't think that's what the founding members envisioned this board to be. Like, what does this look like moving forward? How do they operate? Does anything change? And that's just yet still to be, discovered. We'll see as time goes on. But the Black Miami-Dade group, they want people to know that they're not giving up. They're going to keep fighting. They're encouraging people to call the city of Miami commissioners, Christine King, Alex Diaz de la Portilla, Joe Carollo, Manolo Reyes, They have all of their contact information up. There's a flyer that's going around. We're going to be posting it on Hilo News page, but I think also it may be posted on the Circle of Brotherhood page. And also BlackMiamiMatters.org. Which is that's a new website, because I was going to BlackMiamiDade.org.
Yeah, when I got it this week, I was just like, okay.
So what's this new? Nobody. Yeah. Oh, so this Black Miami Dade and Black Miami Matters, I'm assuming it's the same people. And they have information. I just went to the website as we're talking. They have information about the Virginia Key Beach, and pretty much it's a landing page. So I'm interested why it's not Black Miami Dade, why they're not okay.
I think because at the end of the day, this is not just one issue with this, and I think this is getting into the next topic. It's not just one issue. With when you talk about equity in Black Miami Dade, I think it's a culmination of things that's happening and a lot of things that's coming up, right? And it's not like a particular family, like we'll get into that later, but I just been seeing a lot. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm just going to give a little bit of pushback from the organizers. It just seems like the messaging is always split. Like it always seems like, so to me, to present a new website when you already have people going to Black Miami Dade, blackmdc.org, now it's blackmiamimatters.org. It just seems like sometimes the messaging is split and disjointed. And I'm just trying to understand how all these people who are super successful, who have used marketing and media to become successful, why the messaging a lot of times it just feels disjointed, which to me can turn off the support that you need to get this done. It's just odd to me. I hope they get it together, because to me, it just seems off. Info on the money the city provides for a year for staffing money for consultants.
She was going. Felicia Fee was going to say something, but she posted an article.
I know. Let me see if I can pull it up. I can't. We can't pull it up from our end, the link, but it's that's what was the latest update with the Virginia Key Beach.
It's always seemed like fragment, like you said. Like I agree. It's like, for instance, like I said from the beginning, the conversation was about a Black museum. That's why I say for me, I'm a production person. You know what I'm saying? Basically, Fee was saying that the city provides $869K to the trust. You know what I'm saying? Annually on the budget. So, and that's an annual allotment, and that I remember Patrick Grange was talking about.
In addition to the money that they're gonna
in addition to the 15, they get $869K.
Wow.
For staffing.
But what is that? But who does that money go to?
Staffing and money for consultants. That money go down. That I can see how $869K. Yeah, I can see how they got moved and missing real quick. The Coach Charles Center is $1 million facility, and I, just on staff alone, I can see, $250,000 being spent in, 3 months and a quarter. So I can see it. In essence, we think it's a lot of money, but it's really not a lot of money when you think about staff that goes around, like the maintenance to keep up the building, the consultants that come in to do the events, all these other people. You know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff matters. The other consultants, the other contractors, they got to be paid when they have environmental issues. The sewage thing that just happened over there, they had a spillover from the sewage. They had to go, I think, deal with that. So they had environmental situations they had to deal with. Just like they said, restoration. Fee talking about restoration of the beach. And the city, she said, I guess in this op-ed, I don't know who the op-ed was written by, but Fee tell us who the op-ed was written by. But I guess they asked about where to improve.
Link so we could pull it up.
Yeah. send us the link. They want to provide restoration to the beach. The city is asking where the improvements are, and the same, and that's fair. You know what I'm saying? The Army. I know the Army Corps of Engineers came in there at one point. And they got us. That's money, and so it's a lot. It's a lot that comes into question. When it comes to to Virginia Key Beach. I know that Olympic got 2 events, and he just like, we don't even frequent the beach, but now all of a sudden it's a big issue. Like you going back to what you said, there's so many different parts to it that make you look like, what the fuck is really going on? Like, to an extent, like the messaging, is like, y'all switched because y'all originally was South Florida, this person, then y'all was this, then y'all was that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like y'all keep switching, and then
you got to switch the attention off.
Yeah,
really.
And originally the shit was the Black Museum, then it was Restore the Trust, and it's, you know what I'm saying, and now we back to the Black Museum. So that's the only message that I seen from Jump Street was the Black Museum. So to me, in all honesty, this is about who they want to build that and want on their team, and like I said, power and control of who they want to build that project. And so not somebody, but fuck it, by King appointing Neil Hall, that's her guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, that's her guy, but that's her people. They align. Remember, this Neil Hall, the same guy who had Art Africa.
Yeah.
So these are the same people. He's an architect. He got the Urban Collective. So these are things Rooster and Overtown used to be Art Africa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now, it's just a lot of things that you just make you go, okay, all right, why y'all doing this? And then they bring in 2 lawyers. I just think they just stacking the deck with people who they want to do the project the way they want it to do, and then the opposition is, they want their project to be done the way it should be done, the way they want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the interest that I talked about last week. It's like everybody got their interest. Just because you Black doesn't mean that you're not for us. You feel me?
Yeah. And I think that's the ego part that I don't like about all of this. It's the way the trust got ousted, the way the people were presented as having malfeasance or hands in a cookie jar or stealing, however you want to put it. It's like, to get to the point of her saying, y'all coming to me with these complaints, and that's not even my district. Okay, well, if y'all gonna complain, now I should be on the board. Then the other people saying, well, if you gonna get on the board. So I'm like, it just became to me unnecessary drama that could have got solved easily. And sometimes, these people are, a little bit older than us. Some of them a lot older than us. I just feel like it's super petty how they saw their issues. I'm like, this
shit like The Wire.
I know. I'm like, this how y'all decided to solve this? Like, so since you complaining to me, I'm gonna just take over and kick all y'all out.
This is like The Wire, what that was, season 4, when they opened up talking about all the politics and how everybody was picking sides on this, and the gentrification was coming in, and these deals was going to roll down the pipeline. It literally, like, I swear, if we can write, Janae, that's something we got to do. We got to write a Black Miami Wire.
I know, right?
We got to write
really tell some stories.
Because Easter, give us the check, man.
Exactly. Come on, Easter. Come on, Ava. Come on.
Somebody cut the check.
Oh, Ernisha with her new streaming platform. Come give us, Ernisha and the Sweet Butter family over there with the Smash Room. That's what it is.
Smash Room project.
Their new streaming app. But to me, it just seemed like unnecessary, just drama and ego, and I'm gonna do it the way I want to do it. And at the end of the day, I just hope the shit get built. I hope that somebody Black is over the project and that those dollars are trickling back into our community. And at the end of the day, that it looks like, at some point, I hope that these government officials don't remain on the board. I hope that's not what it's going to be forever moving forward, because I think that's a disservice and a kind of slap in the face to those pioneers who created that board. And I hope that it gets back to the community's hand in management. And I hope that the city works better with that board so they could get stuff done. Yeah. It just sucks that this is where it is. And only time will tell who gonna win out in the end, because here's the thing. people have long memories and people vote. And so, yeah, you right now in the lead, but you just pissed off a lot of constituents. And I wonder what re-election is going to look like for her, because these people are powerful people who have a voting base and they are not happy with what's going on.
That's true. They do got a voting base, but to what extent?
I'm talking about in King's district.
I know, but
Oh,
King
you don't think
I'm
that
saying,
this group
look, one thing
could
I
turn
know,
out?
well, you ain't down here in the city. During the pandemic, I'm just gonna keep it G, right? During the pandemic, didn't nobody have no bigger ground game than Christine King them crew. And
for real?
Ain't nobody have a bigger ground game. She had posters, everything up months before. Like, nobody had nothing up. During the pandemic, she was out. Her peoples was in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So when people say, "Oh, what election time gonna look like," and then people got to realize there's the city of Miami, which is not the whole Liberty City, and then you got unincorporated Miami-Dade on the other side. You feel me? And so, and this is another thing that I see, right? Everybody who complaining, when I want to say the opposition, is on the county side. Everybody
they don't even live and vote in her district.
They don't even live and vote in that district. And so they don't even have stuff going on in that district. It begs the question, what interest do y'all have in Virginia Key? You feel me? What interest do y'all have just in anything generally? So if you're going to sway it and you're going to tell them you're going to get them up out of there, all right, cool. Remember, we lost all the projects. It's city of Miami and county. So now you don't have the Noyas and all that in the sub no more. You don't have the Rockies in the sub no more. You don't have PSU. You don't have Poker Beans. You don't have, or Liberty Square. You know what I'm saying? You don't have the Village.
So what does that mean? You feel like they don't have a base?
So it's a lot of people. There's a lot of people migrated out of Liberty City, and so the dynamics have changed. And her district consists of, the Biscayne, Brickell, and all this other shit. And so that's why I'm more focused on, okay, so what is this really, really, really about? You know what I mean? Like, what is this really about? And I'm just addressing the elephant in the room. Like, if it was about votes, like, y'all, I don't think y'all, I'm curious to see how y'all gonna win.
We'll see, because they got a long time to plan and fundraise and build up who they want. And I mean, they'll definitely be going up against the machine because she's tied into that Hardeman camp. But I think that I won't underestimate the anger of especially being led by a Black woman. It was another Black woman, but I'm not going to underestimate that energy of like, yeah, I'm gonna come back. So we'll see. But like you said, a lot of people don't even live in that district. But I think that with proper organizing, they could make a dent. And I think they could give her a run for her money to show her that they, mean business. But honestly, to me, that's what local election and politics is. It shouldn't be all of the, money gets in there and it makes it, whatever, what it doesn't need to be. But it needs to be, especially in the Black community, when you don't listen to us, you don't listen to our needs, you ignore us, then we have the right to vote you out. Yeah. And I'm totally okay with the people, putting that together.
No, I'm totally okay with it. I'm not one of those people who's opposed to it. I get
what you're saying. How effective are they going to be?
Yeah. How effective is it going to be?
If most of y'all don't even live in that district.
Because I'm counting votes. Because at the end of the day, we know, like, what I know about elections is counting votes.
Especially local elections.
Local elections is literally like, all right, I got out of all these people, this is my vote. This is my piece of the pie. I know I can get this amount. Now, if I go do XYZ, I can maximize that, but I can win this off this group right here. Like, for instance, the whole thing with the it's just different election strategies. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Because I know the neighborhood has changed. You know what I mean? We have an influx of Hispanic folk moving in. So I'm curious to know who's gonna what does that look like? You know what I mean? And yeah, so I'm just curious. That's all. But I'm all for voting somebody out. But I know at the end of the day, it take you having a ground game, it take the money, and you having a ground game just on what I've been able to see. Nobody has been active. Nobody has been as active as their campaign. Like as far as like ground game, effective and strategy, the only person that had the same type of impact to me was the guy who lost in District 2. I think his name Ben Aim, Philip Ben Aim or something like that.
Oh,
He was in District 2 and he Ben Ami, yeah, Ben Ami, that's his name. And so he lost, but he had a shitload of money. So I'm not saying that just because you got money you can win, because Marlene got that, did she? Marlene got that seat. So you see what I'm saying? And it's about counting votes. And so, DC was in that race, and it take for people to do what, and I'm going to acknowledge this again, take and do what DC did. If you really about community, you need to, once you succeed, or once you say, hey, I'm not going to run no more, you need to align yourself truly with the people that you feel like align best with the community's interests. And so that's what he did with Marlene, because we know in that district, especially in my district, that's the district I'm in right now, the Black and the Haitian vote is split. You can't buy a Haitian vote, and Black folk don't vote. I'm just being real. You can't buy a Haitian vote, and Black folk don't vote. So, it's about, and so I think DC kind of like lost that, because it's probably more Haitians than it is Black Americans, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying?
In that district, yeah.
In that district, in that seat, ever since Gene Monestein been in that seat, that's how he won it. You feel me? He been stacking, and then they changed the parameters of the district. You feel me? So it's all these different things that happen, and so when they redistrict on a local level, when they redistrict on the state level, when they redistrict on the federal level, we need to be mindful, because that changes the dynamics of how and who can win those elections.
That's true. Well, only time will tell. This is what's out there. Y'all go to hellonewsmiami.com. We'll have the information on what Black Miami Matters, the new group, the new transform group, the information that they have out there for you to support them and how you can let your voice be heard to the city of Miami. I think, keeping in that election energy, there is somebody who is rumored to be running for a U.S. Congress seat. And MLK yesterday, keeping in that same energy too. MLK yesterday saw two Black political families, in a sense, have a symbolic clash of the Titans. And so I'm going to just put it out there. Christine King and Keon Hardeman drew the line in the sand against Frederica Wilson and all that she is, with their two MLK breakfasts at the same exact time. And so historically, what I've seen and everybody has seen is nobody fucks with Frederica and nobody fucks with that MLK breakfast. You will schedule, everybody schedules everything. If you got to have your event 4 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock at night, you do not schedule it. In Black Miami, you do not schedule nothing during that brunch. I mean, during that breakfast.
Everybody bows down and kisses Frederica hat, except Munch.
Not the hat, except who?
Except Munch. I mean, I've been to her office, so I mean, I respect her, but I get what you're saying, and everybody do. Like, them niggas be kissing her feet, and she ain't even in the room. Like, I done seen it.
Here's the thing. I'm still just trying to, just in case you don't really understand the what they said in that symbolic event.
Yeah, I don't know what was said because I was in Broward.
No. What I'm saying is the symbolism of that.
Oh yeah, the symbolism. Of course. Oh yeah.
We don't care.
Yeah.
And so I made a post.
Well, hold on.
What?
To be fair, they have always done something.
So that was under the MLK, the MLK committees. The committee that does the parade, they hold the annual breakfast.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. so that's why it's a lot of shit that's happening in Miami that's just weird. And I'm like, even the parade was just like, and I seen how everything was aligning. I wasn't there, but I was getting the play-by-play, and I'm like, okay, all right. But it's just like they always do something, because I remember Keon did that. He does like his car giveaways and shit during the parade time or like around that time. So, and then I know they always had like a breakfast. It just, I think because it got heightened because King is now in that seat and Hardeman is where he's at, and I feel like it got heightened.
That
because,
spotlight was
yeah. But I want to say they always did somewhat of a breakfast.
The person who sits in, who the elected official who sits in those two seats in the past, the former elected officials, did they host that event in the past?
No. And I'm gonna take, and that's what I'm
saying.
Because you see where they sitting at, right? Last person that sat in that seat was Edmondson.
Did Edmondson ever host the MLK breakfast during that time?
But if you want me to be real, you want to know why she didn't?
Why? I don't know.
The red hats, okay?
What,
you know,
a Delta?
I know Frederica. No, Frederica, aka if I'm not mistaken. But all this shit, just like when you look at it, you like, what's going on? But Edmondson never would have did that. And but what put like this? Oh, hold on. But this is interesting too, right? Edmondson never did that, right? But Edmondson did run against Frederica and then pull out this past election season. And I wonder what the fuck that was about.
You do not go at the look.
She sent shots. You know what I'm saying? Like,
here's the thing. I don't know Frederica.
She pulled that bit back and bum. Like,
I don't know Frederica personally.
I don't either.
I know her son. He's cool.
Exactly.
But I don't think I've even met her. If I did, I met her once, maybe.
Once.
Don't have any personal relationship with her. All I know is the streets say, do not fuck with Frederica. Yep. Frederica, sorry, excuse me. I don't want to mess up her name. I don't got time to be playing with Miss Wilson. But having her come at me. I heard she does not forget.
At all.
She does not.
She don't forget shit.
And she does not take that lightly.
At all.
And most people, it's just expedient to just not go up against her. And so let me tell you this. This is why I know, even though they've always had that breakfast, this is why I know it's some political shit, because I got a phone call and a text the same day. You know, my new managing editor, Derica James, shout out to her. You know, my little sister, actually, we're going to introduce her at some point to the community, but my little sister 25. She don't know nothing and don't care nothing about all that old political shit. I didn't even catch it at first either. I saw the flyer. I thought it was cool in the sense that we were providing a balanced portrayal of Christine King, because I'm like, I go hard on her with these conversations about Virginia Key Beach. I also wanted people to know it ain't about that. If you're doing something for the community on High Low News, we're going to show it. So we posted about her in Commissioner Hardeman's event, got a text immediately.
Oh yeah, you gonna get one.
By the end of that night, before the night was over, I got a late night call. That's how I knew it was some deeper political shit other than just MLK. And
it definitely was.
They do.
It definitely was.
So the tea that got back to me was that Keon Hardeman wants to run against Frederica Wilson. And of course, him and Christine King, they're cool, they're friends. And so she's riding with him, he's riding with her. And they're doing their thing together. Also, too, I feel like the Virginia Key Beach, she has a spotlight on her too, because I think normally people probably would have ignored it, but now anything her name is on, people are watching. We got some comments under our post saying, how dare she do something in the name of Martin Luther King when she just took away the freedom and the privilege of Black people who were on the Virginia Key Beach board. And so I found that it was interesting. Here's the thing. I don't like the messy politics. I also feel like there's nobody owns the seat, so everybody can run. You know, hats off to Keon. If this is true, you know, he could run for office. I just feel like there's a respectful way to do things. And it just seems kind of like, I said this. I ain't gonna lie. The way Christine King and Keon is putting their dick on the table and saying, I don't give a fuck. It's very much, I said, it's very much Rick James energy, like fuck your couch energy. Like, they don't care. And I low key,
it's 90s gangster shit. Like 90s.
I low key, I wouldn't say respect it, but I low key kind of like,
they put down.
You gotta give a nod to it. You
gotta
give a nod to the fact that
why
like,
I said
I don't give a fuck what the status quo was. This is how we doing it. Fuck them people on that trust. They like fuck Virginia Wilson. We finna do our new thing.
Look, I told you I've been on my Tupac shit all week.
And
exactly when you first told me about that shit, I just heard Don Illuminati bomb first, and I was just like, damn. Whoa! So
it was very symbolic.
I was like, oh, we ain't picking sides. They really like this the line. This what we drawing, this what y'all doing, and this how it gotta go.
Oh, it's on really some gangster shit because Christine has literally got her. The people in the community know we don't want this. She don't even care. She don't appointed Neil. First of all, Neil is a respected man, so it's almost kind of like you can't come at him.
Like, and he came in. He was like, he came at their throat. He was like, "No, we gonna get this black museum done."
And so Keon kind of like, I don't give a fuck. I'm doing what I want to do. I got aspirations for Congress. Well, I gotta wait until she die in the seat or she retire. I want it now. Oh, and we got a comment that their pamphlets is at the parade. Oh, when is the election? Ain't the election in 2 years? Congressional election?
Oh, my bad. I saw all Keanu Kristen fans pamphlet. See, I wasn't at the parade yesterday. Now, mind you, when I go to the parade.
Oh, and Keon was there shaking hands and kissing babies. I saw his
and this is another thing. That's why I'm like, something ain't right. Because I always be like, why am I not there? When it's like people say discernment, but I'd be like, why? Because every year I walk from 7. We be at the shop, so we walk from 7 and it's on 54 from 7 all the way to 32nd. I walk the whole parade every year, just so I could be amongst the people and chop it up, catch it up, see what's going on. This goes back to me just being who I am, and I just be wanting to be an extra body in case some shit pop off. Like, hey, y'all ain't gonna do that today. Like, if it's an argument. Hey, I'm a neutral fucking body. Hey, it's MLK Day. We ain't gonna do that. Keep drinking your liquor. Keep smoking your weed. You want some weed? Hey, I got you. You want some liquor? Hey, I got you. The homeless people? Hey, I got you. You know what I'm saying? It's Martin Luther King Day today, goddammit. We gonna keep the peace and keep it fucking moving. And
the political people was saying we throwing all the shots.
Oh, they were throwing shots, and so I knew what time it was. And that's why when I was getting a play-by-play from the actual parade, and then it's another thing. So shout out to Olympic. And this is to you too, and I'm saying this publicly because I didn't get a chance to mention it to you, but he has basically all the pictures, footage from the parade. So if you want to, we gonna post some of that stuff soon. But yeah, you got some stuff from the parade. You know what I'm saying? So like we gonna see all that. Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you.
My thing is this. I do feel like Black Miami needs I feel like Black Miami needs a shaking up.
Yeah.
I feel like new energy, new blood is needed. I do feel like this karma is a bitch. I do feel like how Black people go about doing things, I think it matters. I don't think we should, just because we're in this white European society, I don't think we should treat each other that way and backstab and be nasty towards each other. I think there's better ways of going about getting power and bringing equity and Black liberation. And so to me, like I said, it's on some gangster shit, and I'm kind of, entertained by what Keon and Christine is doing.
Because it's entertainment. It's entertainment in the motherfucker.
It's also like, what is, here's two things. If they succeed in this, they've ushered in a new Trump era type of energy into the Black Miami political scene. Because people are gonna say, I don't give a fuck about heritage and history and kissing the ring. I'm gonna go for mine. Also, or they are, they're bringing in a new energy, and only time
because y'all niggas been sitting up here bullshitting this whole time.
New energy of progress.
Yeah.
And right now, I will say this, Keon, I wouldn't say I have a problem with anything that he's doing, because I don't think he's doing anything that's wrong and slimy. I mean, it is a kind of like a kick in the face.
Keon been super quiet.
Christine King, here's the thing. I'm gonna just tell my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you got an opinion.
I'm gonna tell my opinion on what I really think is happening.
Because I got some other shit that's going on too. Yeah, I
feel like Keon Hardeman and the Hardemans, because it does feel like that was the topic for today. The Hardemans versus everybody.
Yeah.
They get down how they get down. I feel like they feel like they're one of them families. It's a whole bunch of them. You fight one, you fight everybody. But seriously, what it feels like is Keon is making a move, a political move. He's making a statement, and he's testing his gangster, in the sense, his political gangster, to see what his influence is, what votes he can get. I'm not sure what that looks like going up against longtime Frederica, because people off that name alone. But he also has a very strong name as well, and he's done a lot to rehab that name as well too. So I think it will be an interesting matchup. Not mad at him having political aspirations to ascend to a higher position, to have to, I feel like there is something going on behind the scenes.
Exactly.
With politics for that district, for the county and the city. And I feel like Christine King is getting the nasty end.
Yeah, she just getting the nasty end. She's just taking the nasty end of it.
But it feels like it feels like Keon's playing it the right way. He's not going in and offending people and removing people from boards and pissing off the community. He's going and doing it in a way of like, I have the right to host a dinner. I have the right to run for Congress. That's fine to me. Christine King is doing it in a way where it's making her look slimy. And that's the only thing I don't like about whoever's in her political camp. I'm like, why do y'all have her with this spotlight where she's doing slimy things? I'm almost like, is she a pawn to kind of take all this stuff and let this other person ascend to a higher position? Or is there, like, what's the play here? And I don't like the sliminess of the way that she's ascending to influence. And Keon is kind of like, I'm just running for office. I'm just at breakfast. I ain't doing nothing wrong.
Exactly.
I ain't do nobody wrong. Because here's the thing, he sat on that commission seat too in City Miami. He ain't never ousted that board. They won that.
Exactly my point.
So here's the thing.
Why is it
so it feels like Christine King may not even have aspirations to go even higher than this. It's kind of like, let's have this scapegoat take all this shit, do all our dirty work, take all of this stuff, all these grunts, do the slimy shit that we couldn't do because we got to keep our face clean. We got to still play good in the sandbox. And I'm gonna do this over here. I'm gonna work with her, maybe set her up later on. She ain't gonna never win no county seat. I don't see that happening. She ain't. She depends, unless she bring everybody $1 million in that area.
It's about you gotta understand. Put it like this. Since we're talking about Martin Luther King, right? Every year, she basically on Martin Luther King Day, she used to do the gospel concert. I don't know if she did the gospel concert this year. But MLK EDC, when you talk about King and her, how many people she got, they strong. That's all I'm saying. Like what Edmondson group was, literally, that's King group too, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? In a way.
So so you saying she can, based off of what that dynamic is in the Liberty City? Because I'm a Carol City girl. I don't really know too deep.
I mean,
so you feel like she could become a county commissioner.
I'm not saying she could. I'm just saying, like, all right,
it'll be a strong race.
You don't need the commissioner. The thing about it is, she ran MLK EDC, Economic Development Corporation. The EDC owns and controls a lot of shit. You feel me? In our community. And so they got a lot of different programs. And for the longest, they was moving. And this is, MLK EDC, if I'm not mistaken, is, at one point, Range, from inception, this was started by Range in them. So that's the whole thing with Patrick Range. That's why I say everything not making sense.
And
to
I
me,
don't think they
based
were
on
enemies. I think they
no,
were
they never. No, I'm telling you from experience, from what I know. Right, all of these people used to be in my uncle's backyard, so I know they're not enemies. And I'm telling you this because at least the Rangers and everybody else. I don't think it's an enemy situation.
But
I just think
my point with that is the
it's
slimy
smoke and mirrors.
movement.
I
The
think
slimy movement of her is like, it seemed like she may not have any more political aspirations past it, so she may be okay with moving kind of slimy like this.
I don't know. I don't know, but all I'm saying is it's a lot of different things in play. I can speculate about what I think it is, but I don't know. Like, all I'm saying is, shit, before the new year was out, we was at a certain person's birthday party and Carollo was there. Now all of a sudden you beefing with Carollo. So I'm just saying it's a lot that be going on, because I be in the spot, same thing, and I be like, well, shit, I was sitting over there with you when the Carollo popped up over here, and next thing you know, this popped off. So then the new year came in, and then then y'all got control of the board, and then y'all been switching. And so my thing is, I think it's the people playing both sides. I think it's people playing both sides.
Definitely.
And I think at the end of the day, Christine King is taking one for the team, for all of us. And I'm saying this because at the end of the day, somebody got to be the fall guy.
That's true. I want to address this, and just full transparency of her last name Tate. That's my mama. But my mom is a super voter, and my mom is the person who got me into understanding politics. Her and my grandma, my grandma was a super voter, but every election, mom, Union Stewart, worked with the union at Jackson, AFCLO. So my thing is this: for her to say something like that, I feel like people need to pay attention to that. For a super voter to say they're tired of the old school, they want to see some change. I feel like there really hasn't been a formidable candidate against Frederica Wilson.
No, nobody has ran up against Frederica.
I feel like Keon. I felt like anybody who could have given her a run for her money, essentially, could be Keon Hardeman. Well, honestly, I wouldn't even think about Keon, because I didn't think he even had aspirations to do that right now. I actually thought Oliver Gilbert or Dr. Gallen. And not saying that either one of them wanted to run for this seat. I'm just saying who would have a strong enough name and a strong enough draw within that area to be able to pull and split voters for people to say, hey, yeah, I kind of want some new energy. And I feel like Keon is a little bit skipping the line. I feel like there's some people eyeing that seat, and they have respect. They have a relationship with Frederica. They're going to wait for her to retire, or if she passes away, and just go for it. I feel like Keon, like, I'm not waiting. I'm going to test it. I could raise money. I have this influence. I have this celebrity draw now because he's connected with Headliner. I feel like he's kind of going for his, and he's saying, look.
I don't think he's going to run. I'm gonna tell you something. He's gonna
run for Congress. I think he is.
If he runs,
that's what the rumor is.
If he run, I think he gonna pull out.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I think he gonna run and he gonna pull out early
to test to see what it is.
And I don't even think it's a testing situation. I think it's a matter of, because I had it on the tip of my tongue, but I don't think it's a testing situation. I think it's more or less like how you said, like, you feel like other people would have probably taken that seat before. And my thing is, Keon has been extremely quiet. Extremely quiet since he's been at the county. Now, mind you, that doesn't mean he ain't been doing shit. It's just been extremely quiet over there. You feel me?
When you say quiet, you mean more so in a boastful kind of, like, in the press a lot of headlines type of things, or because
when you talk about it's not as, it's a different approach. He in the back. Think about the days. You got 3 other people, you know what I'm saying, who making strong strides. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Oliver Gilbert, you got Keone McGee.
Yeah.
You got him, you got Hardeman, and then what's the other person?
Marlene.
And just got in there.
And oh gosh, it's 4 of them. Did we get the 4?
That's all 4.
Yeah.
So Keon, Oliver, OG, and Marlene. You feel me? So when you line all that shit up, Keon just sitting back. And I'm like, why Keon so quiet? Now, mind you, remember Edmondson, before, when Keon first tried to run, people don't realize this, Keon tried to run for Edmondson's seat first, and then that was a no-go. In the debate, he lost real bad. And you know what I'm saying? And then that's how he went and took that seat, that D5 seat. And then he came back, and now he's circling back over here. So it's just interesting to see. I don't think it'll be interesting to watch and see. You know what I mean?
When we go offline, I'm gonna tell you why I think it's more true than not, because I'm gonna tell you who told me.
Oh, I know. I look, I just ain't trying to. My thing is, I can only focus on what's in front of me. And
I feel like there's people who need to understand what's going on politically.
And I feel like it's some stuff offline that I can't really discuss on here either. That because I got stuff that I feel like these niggas will come kill me for. We ain't
gotta go that deep. We gonna do rumors and say who want to run for office. We ain't gonna go that deep.
I'm talking about. No, I'm saying I'm not. It's not even about going that deep. It's about what I know. You talking to a kid that was 12 years old in these meetings, recording them and putting 2 and 2 together. So I've been putting 2 and 2 together for a long time. You know what I mean? And so it's like, this don't make no sense. Just like I said, we was just at a birthday party, and this happened. You feel me? And then we just at this other situation, and this happened. So something ain't adding all the way up.
I agree. And I feel like if any takeaway, because a lot of this stuff is speculation, what I'm saying about
of course,
with Christine King and Keon Hardeman and people running for seats and what their motives are before or behind. We're making observations based off of us being in the community, me covering the community, and what things have done and what I think is happening, but none of this stuff is based on anything.
Yeah, like this is really
it's all conjecture. Yeah. But what I will say is people should take away is pay attention to your elected officials. Pay attention to how they're moving, who they're affiliated with, who they fall out with, who they seemingly are cool with, but then there's a rift there. Like, pay attention to that. And also to look at the policies that they're enacting too. Because a lot of times too, I feel like sometimes the stuff is kind of shiny shit to keep you focused over here, where the other hand is doing something else. And so I feel like keeping a closer eye and being more critical of our elected officials is totally okay. I think that's the natural part of this process. Yeah. That's what the fuck we should be doing anyway. We should be so critical, so into, because these are our tax dollars. We hired them, and we should understand what they're doing, what deals they're making, what affiliations they have. And if that speaks to what you want in your elected official and people that you want serving you in that position. So I think if anything we're saying, pay attention.
Yeah. Most definitely pay attention. I think another thing is, just because, don't get lost in the popularity contest. Don't get lost in the fact that they were headliner and they doing this. Understand the policies and understand, there's a charter. Everything, it doesn't just happen overnight. A lot of these deals. And so that's my biggest takeaway, is that, like you said, pay attention. In light of Dr. King, it's not just about one vote. My homeboy Tarvis, I grew up with him, longtime friend. Tarvis. Oh, okay. We longtime friend. We grew up together at Liberty City Optimist, playing football, basketball, amongst other things. But he said he made a comment saying, MLK basically died for nothing. And, it struck me. It struck a nerve, but I had to somewhat agree with the logic he was.
Why
the
line of
that?
Logic?
Because of logic? He was just saying the way society has gone, MLK has died for nothing. And so I think a lot that gets lost is that MLK with the vote, he wasn't trying to get y'all niggas to vote. He was trying to get y'all to vote, that one time for the popular vote, but pay attention to all the other policies. And that was the economic side. And so when you're able to organize people, organize money, and mobilize people, that was the greatness of Dr. King. And so we can talk about nonviolence. That's what they tell us about. But 3 things that man did: organize people, organize money, and he mobilized the fuck out of them. You know what I'm saying? That's why March on Washington, that's how civil rights legislation got built. Because he was like, this nigga mobilized 1 million motherfuckers. We is in trouble. That's why they killed him, because he can organize people, organize money, and he can mobilize. Same shit Trump do. Same shit Biden do. Same shit everybody else do in politics. And so Martin Luther King was able to do that. And so when you can mobilize people now, that means All right, you're not going to do what I need you to do for my community, and we voted you in. All right, I'm getting the same constituents. And that's why, the conversation we having about King versus Hardamans versus everybody, power and money is so important, because that key piece, you know what I'm saying? It's so important, man. It's so important. I politicians meet 3 months out of the year on the state level. The school board meets every Wednesday and makes decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's meetings throughout, but there are decisions made every single day that affect our livelihood, affect children, that affect everything. And if we're not cognizant and mindful of it, you get what I'm saying? Then what are we doing?
We just getting ran over.
Exactly. And so when people talk about
people who doing the work all the time voting, we can't do it by themselves. At this point, I'm a super voter. I don't care where y'all think Janae at in the country. Janae gonna vote every election. I tell you that. Whether I'm in person or I'm out of town, I'm voting.
I don't know.
It just can't be me and you doing it. Everybody, we
everybody got to do it, and that's why I brought up the whole special election February 27th. So we're gonna be trying to, going forward. I think the thing is to always give people something to look forward to. So February 27th is one of those things we need to be looking forward to. A special election for a district that talks about Virginia Key, right? And then we'll get back to y'all on the follow-up meeting of when the next Virginia Key Beach trust meeting is.
Yeah. And
you know
I think
what I mean?
Giving people information, because I also feel like that's the role of Black press, Black media. We can summarize things for them. And so I think we should do just a little bit of digging into some of these candidates and just let people know this is who this is. This is who's running. I love that you pointed out what people had raised. I think we should dig in deeper and say, this person out of these 14 candidates, this is what this is the information that we can find on them on the internet. And since we're on StreamYard, we can even share the screen and show them pictures of the people.
Exactly. And sidebar to what we were saying earlier about voting, and we was talking about just the Black community in general. I don't know if you've seen the whole situation with Ed Reed going off he was driving in the cart apparently at BCU, and he was complaining about the conditions at BCU Bethune-Cookman.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Bethune-Cookman?
Yeah, because it was reported that he was hired by Bethune-Cookman, but apparently Ed Reed is a Hall of Fame safety, about to be.
Oh, so he's coach, the new Deion Sanders,
basically. Exactly, if you want to put it that way. And so he was going to Bethune-Cookman, which is in Florida, Daytona Beach, and he was showing the conditions of the school, and some people took offense, like, you already knew that when you came here it was like that, so why are you making a complaint about it? And I'm like, well, on one end it's like, yeah, he knew that's what it was, but is that the way it is, the way it should be? Like like Deion say, everybody dealing with the same issue, everybody got the same problem. States are largely underfunded. Forbes produced the article, and I think it highlights a deeper issue, right? We normalize, like, our neighborhoods look the way they do, right? And they're underfunded. Our schools are severely underfunded. And so, to your mom's point, I'm with a change too. My thing is, I'm not with left or the right side or blue or the red side. I'm with what's moving the community forward. Because like I said, I couldn't say shit when Trump went to Elijah Cummings and said, why does your community look like that? And everybody knows when you go to like Baltimore, like everybody knows it, you know what I'm saying? And Liberty City is the same situation. Liberty City been looking like that since the 60s, yo. This ain't since the riots and that, no, since the 60s, since before then. I got tape to prove it. You know what I'm saying? So I get very passionate, upset sometimes about this because we don't do what's necessary to be done. I also want to get people, because I know that legislative session starts later this year, right? Mm-hmm. I think it starts either this month or next month or maybe April. I don't know. I know it starts later. I want to say it may be end of February, early March. But we need to be mobilizing people up there and saying, this is what we want. You know what I mean? Like, I think about that every fucking legislative session. I'm like, these motherfuckers gonna meet for 3 months and make all the decisions for the next fucking 20 years.
I think when you think about the state level, and I almost feel bad for the left or progressive side, because they're just fighting a losing battle in a sense with the minority in both houses. Like, how do they get anything passed?
I think
support. How do they? I'm trying to figure that out. How do they?
That's the whole thing with. That's my whole thing, right? So the Democrats. So then we get on that, right? So remember, James Bush. I don't know if you remember that James Bush was running against Ashley Gant, and I ain't gonna lie. So all this chatter started to come out, and it felt like it came from the Democratic Party, and I was like, "This is some bullshit." But basically, it was like I guess Pizzo said something about Bush, getting the money and favoring, being basically in DeSantis' good graces. But at the same time, it's like James Bush was getting the money. You know what I'm saying? Now we have nobody to get the money for our community. Now, that's not saying Christopher Benjamin is not on the board. He's on, I think, appropriations committee. He can do something. Other people can do something. But at the present moment, that's who had his ear, and y'all chopped his head off to get Ashley Gant in there. Now, how much money she gonna bring in her first year?
But then it goes to the point of at what cost?
At what cost? See, but
you're getting the money, but then you're ignoring other policies that affect the Black community.
Exactly.
And so
I'm asking that question, but that's what I'm saying. We can't win for losing. That's what I'm saying. Like, you get what you need, like, and that's the thing. Like, you get what you get. You get some bad shit, and I feel like the only reason we getting the bad shit is because we not holding them accountable. You feel me? If we was holding them accountable for all the fuck shit before they get in, so we're gonna talk offline about some stuff, because I think I got a strategy that could work. Because if you can hold them accountable beforehand and after they get out of there, the thing is, outside of Cynthia Stafford, I think that was her name, Cynthia Stafford. She's the only person that actually did a fucking report before and after. And not to say Chevron doesn't do a report, because I know Chevron reports back. And I don't know.
I get his email newsletter. He does reports.
Yeah, but I'm talking about, like, Cynthia Stafford used to hold the fucking event and say, hey, this is the policies that I'm going up there fighting for. I'm getting on an appropriations committee. This is this. And she was this is on the agenda for this year. This is not. Cynthia Stafford literally did this, yo. I tell you, no lie. And we need that. We need something similar that where we can hold them all accountable, and they can say what they did for, this is what we went in there to do, and this was what the outcome. Whether Cynthia Stafford was successful or not, she always let us know what she was successful doing and what the drawbacks were. You feel me? So we need something.
I feel like that's the role of press. And that's why the community needs to understand that we are the fifth estate. We go in these places where you can't go. We can get information that you don't have. You got to go to work. You're not going to sit in a commission meeting. You're not going to read an agenda and all these different laws and policy. But if we have funding to do that report, that is my dream, to do report cards on people who represent our constituency, and get the people to know what they did in Congress, or what they did at city council or city commission, what they promised, what they actually did, how this affects you. But that's expensive to do. And I think that goes back to the point of us. Me too. And I was like, I'm not going to do a political. They do something and I'll go in there and check on that. They got that for now. But I feel like there needs to be in-depth stuff for when you don't, because here's the thing, the elected official don't have to do that in depth of a meeting like Cynthia Stafford was doing and other elected officials do, but there still needs to be some accountability, and people still need to get that information out. And that's why y'all support us and either pour into us when y'all see us trying to fundraise, or we have advertising, or you can subscribe to us. That allows us to be able to do that work and go in places that you can't go, and give you the information that you need, so you can make the best decision as a civic, as a citizen. and voting and making sure that your life is what you need it to be. Because here's the thing, for so long, they're able to kind of work behind this curtain where nobody's really putting a magnifying glass on what the fuck they do.
Exactly. And then, and at the same time, I tried to say this in the first episode back. A lot of times, and this is why I tell people all the time, I don't care. I used to go in Keon office every time. Anytime, the same thing happened with OG. When Lala got killed in Miami Gardens, we went and talked to Oliver Gilbert. And I think we got to have grace, at least some grace for one another and respect for one another, to be like, all right, I know it's some things that are against you that I can help you with. And as an engaged citizen, my interest is for the community. So if my community if you need help getting the word out about this over here, then all right, this is what I'm gonna do. You feel me? And so I think that's another element. And that don't take, you can literally go into your commissioner or whoever your representative is, you can go into the office yourself. I literally used to pop up in that shit. Gene Monestein, I popped up in there with 10 of my homies and I said, hey, we gonna get free lunch on them. Literally. And we popped up, sat there in the office. Of course, they tried to act like he wasn't there. He wasn't. He went out the back door, came back. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, we gonna sit. All right, cool. Get us some pizza. Like, and my niggas.
We got to be able to empower people who could do that work. And
I agree.
Before we head out, you know, we also had on the agenda Joe Biden and his documents. Do you want to get into that?
Yeah, we can chop it up on that, man.
I don't know much about it. You're gonna have to.
Apparently,
all I see, I just was like, oh Lord, Biden took the papers home too.
So this is interesting, right? Because now, you know, the Democrats, and then we talk about the Democrats and Republicans and all these sides, all these interests. And so when you talk about Biden, to Trump, ever since Trump got January 6th and everything, everybody been running, right? At this whole thing. He had classified documents in Mar-a-Lago. He's trying to do this with the Russians. He's trying to do the XYZ. But then Biden get caught with Obama documents. So now you got to throw out that whole trial impeachment thing. You trying to take him from saying that he can't run. You feel me? All this he can't run, bullshit. He can run now. So now Trump gonna be able to run. And now it's the Democrats gonna have to throw out their whole shit. The only thing y'all can do.
Oh, I feel like he really didn't mean to take them home. I really feel like he's so old. He just don't know what's going on sometimes.
But all right, so how do we give him that excuse and we don't give Trump that excuse?
At this point, you can't say shit. You got to treat him fairly.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't go at the one way and say this the rules. And I feel like the Democrats probably like, oh gosh, the one thing we had.
But I don't think this is a rare thing though. I think it's media manipulation too.
And a lot of people take classified documents home by mistake.
I think that's what it is, bro. I'm like prime example.
But how many documents though? Because I haven't looked deep into this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Had a whole bunch. Did Biden have that many too?
That's what I'm saying. But still, here's the thing: they were scattered, and this is my thing. Documents are tight. If they're printed out and typed up, there's a record of it being printed. One thing I know about IT and computers, everything is documented, and when federal government, shit. You anytime you print anything off the print server, damn it, they know. So what you mean he took home classified documents? Y'all already knew what documents he had.
That's true.
Y'all already knew what documents he had. So y'all just want the documents back so he can't sell trade secrets for the next administration that comes in. I'm just playing on language. I'm just saying. But that's what I see when I see Biden and the whole Trump thing. I don't think it's a rare thing. I think, think about it. Like, I hate to bring my mother into this, but my mother she doesn't bring government classified, top secret classified documents home, but sometimes she brings work home, right? And so those documents are classified to an extent because of the law. We can't see them. You know, now we dealing with remote. So, but she's always been able to bring her cases home, so to speak. She can't talk to us about her cases. She can't show us anything in that case, but she could bring the case home. So when I think about, documents classified, Biden got his hands in, is Biden got a situation and Trump got a situation, I thought about my mom situation. I was like, was she bringing classified documents home? So, you know.
And I get that. And the way, especially the way Biden, you know, from the stories that I saw, the way his documents were found, it seems like I'm working on something. I'm ready to go home. Let me take it with me. Forget, move on to the next thing. Now it's in my office. Now it's here. Now it's there. Now it's in storage. And it was very scattered. I think too, also, the difference between the two, where I think the Democratic Party may have some saving grace, is the fact that Biden is being very upfront about getting things back, working with them, being cooperative. Whereas it seemed like Trump was like, I'm not giving y'all shit. Y'all gonna have to come take it.
But once again, that come back down to media manipulation.
But who's manipulating who for what?
And the reason why I go back and I say media was very different when Trump was in office. I'm just saying all
right wing or the left wing?
Left and right. Trump was sensationalized every single day. Now he gave him shit to talk about.
He wanted some stuff too.
No, and I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he didn't. You know what I'm saying? And I look at with this whole thing with Biden, and I'm just like, it's like almost in a case, like you in a court trial, like you in a trial, like a court trial, right? Everybody got to prove their side, and I just felt like they just was looking for the classified documents, like what he got over there, so we can get this shit out of the way. You know what I mean? And it's a political war, and we just pawns in the chess game. We think it's over one thing, but really it's over some other shit.
That's true.
And I think that, and that's what I mean when I say media manipulation. It's like a lot of times it's like they keep staring.
The players are manipulating the media to
the players are manipulating.
That is one thing, but it's actually something else.
It's some other shit in play. And that's what I be thinking a lot of times. Like I'm always like, why? Like my first question anytime I see something is why.
But who was taking the plea deals?
I haven't been following that, but yeah.
Oh, because you said something about Gunna. They was taking plea deals like Gunna in our private conversation. So I was like, who took a plea deal?
oh no, I was just talking about I don't, I was saying they copping pleas like oh we ain't do it. We you know what I'm saying, we did this, we didn't do that.
I get it.
We did this, but we didn't do this. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I meant by that. It's like Gunna because Gunna said, hey, I was in the car. Y'all found this. I was in the car, but it wasn't mine. So it's like, all right, y'all say Trump, y'all saying Trump a bad man because he was found with classified documents. All right, I was found with classified documents, but my classified documents wasn't his classified documents. So it's like all this, you know what I'm saying? Like,
trying to like who the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. And we playing this lesser of two evils, and who suffers? The black community. We sitting there playing this stupid game, and Biden talks about, if you don't vote for us, then who? Nigga, you ain't did nothing for us. He ain't did nothing. Nothing.
Oh, child, that's a whole other episode about how the Democrats just take our vote for granted.
And that's the thing. And I think at the end of the day, once black people start to align ourselves on both ends of the aisle, and we can say, no, we not Democrat nor Republican. No, we don't. We all of us don't like social programs. Damn it, we think social programs. We believe in subsidies, and things need to be subsidized. Like affordable housing, so it can actually be affordable. But
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But we don't want a social program which is gonna, you know what I'm saying, that's gonna handicap us for fucking 100
exactly.
years.
I can't make the this amount. I can't have a husband. I can't, like, who wants that?
Exactly. And you see how it come from both sides. And so when you make a bill and this is one thing I really want to hone in on, is that when you really go to make a policy and law and the bill, you have to go on both sides. You don't, it's not going, is, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't just put up the piece of paper and say yes or no. It's all right. I like this proposal, but this is what I want to put in it. And this is what I want to take out. And then you go to the other side and say, this is what I want to put in it. And this is what I want to take out. And you got to do that basically in the House and the Senate in order for it to become a law. So, you know, I don't know. It's just, I think we just need to, especially when it comes to elections. Now, I guess I'll close with that. Is like when it comes to elections, we need to be on both sides of the issues. We need to know what we want. You know, what are our issues? And I think with the podcast, one of the things I want to do is let our issues be known. Like, one day I really want to host. I think in an ideal world, like my dream is to like host a fucking debate. Like District 2, fucking District 3, District 4, like all these people, like hold their ass to the fire and be like, this is what the community want. Like, because community can't always articulate it. And we saying, all right, this is what we want. And we gonna organize people, organize money, and mobilize the fuck out of them. If you don't want to do what we want you to do. Like, there's no reason, like, and I'm saying this because FLOMO is underfunded, FAMU is underfunded, Bethune-Cookman is underfunded. These are 3 HBCUs in the state of Florida. What is that on the black people's agenda? Is that on black folk agenda? You get what I'm saying? Like in the state of Florida, what do we care about in the state of Florida? Fuck the Democrat, Republicans. We want our HBCUs to be funded. More money. Point blank, period. What federal dollars we gonna align all the representatives in place, federal dollars, Frederica included. Yo, you are representative. What are you gonna do to make sure federal dollars are given to more HBCUs? You get me? I don't know how that works, but I know it's a state school, you know, so I gotta dig more deeper. But it's different things about our communities that are unique to our communities that we historic overlays, historical preservations. We want to preserve the Hampton House. We want to preserve these different parks and different things that we be at. How do we preserve that? But you know what I'm saying? These are things that we need to be, not gun violence that they come in our fucking community every year just and talk about gun violence and say, oh, that's how. No, that ain't our fucking issue.
Turkeys, guns, and book bags.
What about education? And what about education? What about our teachers not being properly funded, which a lot of black teachers are underpaid, which then that means black communities are fucking under, you know what I'm saying, don't have the money, you know what I'm saying? So it's all the ecosystem and how all of that intertwine. And so that's my goal. If it's anything that I want to put out there, it's like to be able to articulate those messages and say, these are the things that we want. We got to start thinking, like I said, in terms of GDP. Like,
I want to see who's going to be the Stacey Abrams from Florida, who's going to merge and organize and get people to action.
I don't think it's one person. I mean, I even want to mobilize
Stacey Abrams. Who is that?
I think it's already being done. I think it's already being done. The foundation's already been set. It's already been laid. You know, I can name names. But at the end of the day, I think that foundation has already been set. A lot of plays been in motion in the background, and we can, you know, V's already done it. She's one person, and there's many other people who, you know, Jasmine
Rogers,
another person, right? That's good at what they do. And so when we talk about organized, these are people who actually pass bills and laws on the regular, and have done this consistently over at least the past 5, right? And so, you know, the foundation's already been set. I think we at the point of mobilizing folks, you know, getting people to go, you know, maybe not this legislative session, but the next legislative session. Let's see how, you know, hopefully trapping ain't dead big enough. We still, you know, my thing is to stay consistent so we can mobilize and we can organize possibly a bus ride up to, because that's the things when that's what I remember when we didn't When our community didn't like something, that's what we did. You know, when FCAT came and they said it was gonna flunk third grade kids, we was like, oh fuck no. No child left behind. When that policy first, the black community never liked that shit from the beginning of Jeb Bush shit. They came out. And I never forget, that's when our whole communities went to the state of Florida. Like the whole Miami, I never forget that shit. I forget what it was specifically. I want to say it was around either the FCAT or that no child left behind policy. But yeah, they went up there in fucking droves. Like droves. Like teachers took out of the school, was like, fuck that. We can miss one day of school with these kids. But if they fucking finna fail for 3, you know what I'm saying? Like they finna fail these kids in the 3rd grade. You know what I'm saying? And there's other stuff, like I say, I know in the background that's moving on the state level. And we need, and that's the issue right now. I think a lot of power plays are being made, but the state level and the federal level Chevron can't be out there by itself. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta like, and that's not to say Christopher Benjamin not doing what they supposed to do, Ashley Gantz not doing what she's supposed to do, and others that I can't name off the top of my head. But you feel me? That's what we have to do. We gotta start lobbying. To me, it's trap and vote. And that's the thing, like me and Tarvis was getting, like we basically came together at the end and was like, it's not an either or situation, it's a both and. People think that, voting alone is not gonna do it. No, it ain't voting alone, damn it.
But we need a re-education on how that works.
How the voting process
what
works.
that means, what that could look like, how people can do stuff, you know, because at the end of the day, I think, like you said, a lot of people think it's vote and I'm done. And it's like, no, it's vote and keep doing this. But I also feel like people need to kind of break it down in simple terms, like, if you can't go to Tallahassee and lobby or wherever your state capital is, then you could do this. And if you know, and this is something else that you could do, and this is how you could check in, or these are some resources that you could, you know, keep a reminder for, or sign up for their newsletter so you can get XYZ information.
Newsroom.
I know it needs to be a re-education. And I believe that media could stand in that gap. I just think we need the community. To me, I feel like the way that works is if the community buy-ins. The community needs to invest in it, because we can't be beholden to, especially when you get into government contracts, you can't be critical of government getting money from them. You can't be, you know, corporations, you know, that money is cool too. You could get that, you go in and out of contract. But if all of our money is tied to government contracts and advertisers, then it muzzles you, and you can't be as honest and raw and be as much of an advocate for the community that you're serving, especially as Black media, Black press. We need that works when the community believes in us.
Yeah.
And when you guys can give to us and subscribe, like y'all used to do it with all the legacy newspapers, how they got started, from Miami Times to the Chicago Defender to the West Side Gazette and all these other the Houston Defender and all these different papers around the country. It was us paying our 10 cent, 5 cent, $1 every week that kept these things alive. It's just going to be a new way of doing that digitally. And I think the community has to understand that. And I think they're slowly waking up. I think, you know, we just got to be vigilant about it.
It's like how we talked about last week, and that's something that is so crazy, that my word for this year was consistency. And so then this shit popped up, and I was like, okay, that's why, you know, and it's literally, if we can stay consistent, I feel like the value is there. Right.
I also think collaboration is key. I think Black media needs to work together. You got to share resources.
Exactly.
I'm here on, you know, on your platform with All Like Minds Media, you know, your podcast. I also have my own media company, but we're working together to create a product. You get what I'm saying? Like, we got to be able to share resources. I can't cover everything. You can't cover everything.
Just like O was at the parade and O got them pics. You know what I'm saying? So it's moving all that around. You know what I mean? Man, how all that comes together. You know, and I think some stuff is just a simple conversation. You know, I know with me and O, it's just a conversation. Like we already think the same. All right, what can you do that'll help me over here, and what can I do that'll help you over there? You know, yeah, that.
Yeah, the sky's the limit. Got to have some hope.
Sky's the limit. Yeah.
How can people connect with us and stay in contact now that Trapping Ain't Dead is back? Let people know how they can be connected and follow moving forward.
Follow Trapping Ain't Dead podcast on Instagram and Facebook. Okay. Our live page right now, we on All Like Minds YouTube page right now. So if you just type in Trapping Ain't Dead podcast, you got to put podcast, because if you don't, then everything else comes up. But All Like Minds, if you do Trapping Ain't Dead podcast, it'll pop up on the All Like Minds page, if anything. But yeah, so that's where you can find us. You can find me, Machiavelli_Munch, on all platforms. Machiavelli, 2 L's, not one, like Pop, 2 L's. I'm the second coming. I keep telling y'all.
Here you go. Well, let me give my shameless plug. You guys, if you want to follow me on my personal pages, it's at Janae Tate. If you're looking at us on YouTube or Facebook, you can see my name, how it's spelled, and you just search that and you can find me on all the social media platforms. And of course, follow Hilo News, my hyper local news blog for Black and Brown millennials here in South Florida and hopefully the country as we expand. But right now we're in South Florida. You can go to HiloNewsMiami.com. You can find all our social media pages there. It's HYLONEWS. Sign up for our email newsletter so you get our news alerts first, and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all the things. Black Planet, everything. No, I'm just saying, we're not a Black Planet, but follow us on social media. That's how we
stay. Well, you threw in your jersey.
Wait, Black Planet from New Jersey?
No, I'm saying you threw in your jersey.
Oh,
you threw in your jersey. You made that post. It was like, oh, okay.
Which post? What you talking about?
That post for the new year. Talk about my dog. You know what I'm saying? Got you feeling good.
When? What post?
The post you posted, Tanta's got you feeling good. That shit. Yeah, it was. Hey, you put it out there. I ain't gonna say it was the first of the year.
Oh, it could have been on my private page.
Nah, it wasn't on your private. It may have been though, but it was.
Was it on Instagram? Because I don't mention.
I want to say it was on Facebook and Instagram, but it was because you it was personal, and you was like, you threw in your jersey, dog. You threw in your player card.
I did. Oh, of course that been gone, but I'm trying to figure out which post you talking about.
Yeah, post, I read it. You sent it to everybody too. I was like, shit, it's a high little fuck it. Yeah, that's man. Funny. But yeah, man.
Thank y'all for tuning in for another episode as we talking and chattering and
supposed to get the fuck
giving
off
our
this
opinion shit. And our predictions, but also to breaking stuff down for y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in for another episode.
Peace in the Middle East. Hopefully one day.
Yeah.